recording in progress because we are all just recording our lives, just like every day, like through the experiences that we have. And we're just like a progress, like with who we are, and just like constantly becoming that recording of who we thought we were moving forward.
Yay. Uh,
Using
That
my
was deep.
this is
philosophy degree.
AstroBros. AstroBros,
Hello.
hello. It's
Mm.
going to be
Hello.
a good day.
It is.
Um, we are going to
We
talk
bring
about
many
many
blessings
things,
onto you and many yesings. Because do that shit.
and also with you. Um,
You should
shit,
have
were
this
any of you
background
raised
all of the
religious?
time, Nick. Like every other video you need to do, that should just be your background. You just have that sitting there.
An
That's it.
umbrella?
Yep.
You can tell it's an umbrella. Fuck.
It
You
looks great,
can.
dude. It's cool.
You look
I'm a
great.
puss. The rain. I don't want to get wet.
Don't you have a stoop?
It's a whole aesthetic. Well,
No.
now I know what to do on the
You guys need to
thumbnail.
get a fucking stoop. Build a stoop.
Yeah, you're right.
Easy.
Yeah,
Not true. Not true.
get stupid in here. Ha! Let's get stupid in here. Ha!
It's
Right?
stupid. Let me
You
just.
just need a
Out here.
stoop. No big
We're
deal.
Oh
gonna
yeah.
stupid
Oh
out
yeah.
here.
Well, bros. Well, here. There. Let's be professional. Welcome to the Astro Bros. Let's go.
Welcome. All right,
Um,
sweet. We got that out of the way. What else are we gonna do?
Moon's in Gemini
Chris,
today.
moons in
Ooh,
Gemini.
we just had a
We
new
just
moon.
recently
Yeah.
went past the new moon, so we're in
Yep.
the greatening cycle
Yep.
of the moon where it becomes bigger. It embiggens
Oh,
itself slowly across the
Biggins.
sky.
Yeah.
And first it's God's fingernail, and then it's a half moon or a quarter moon. I don't know why they call it a quarter moon. And then it's gibbous, which I don't understand that word either, but it means bigger than half and less than full. And then it's full, and it'll be a full moon in Sagittarius. That'll be pretty fun.
Ooh.
There's a lot of good shit happening today. Mercury is trine Pluto. Mercury in Gemini, trine Pluto in Aquarius. So we got a lot of air action up in this bitch,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and that's exciting.
Yeah. A lot of fire and air planets right now.
Hear
True.
that?
And then Uranus. Good old
Yeah.
Uranus just
Just
hanging out in
slowly moving
Taurus.
through
Yeah.
Taurus.
Yeah. Just like, no, get me the fuck out of here.
Get me the
Yeah.
fuck out of here. I'm sick of it. And all the Tauruses are like, get it the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. We're sick of
Oh,
it.
yes. Amen. But
Taurus likes
yeah.
stability, and they recently just got like fucked with for like 8 years. And many of them are never going to recover.
Yeah.
Oh,
Many of them.
many, but not all. But
Many moose. Many moose.
many moves.
Many moons ago.
Yeah, we should make a. You should do an ASO song.
Many
The
moose.
many men, but many moves. Yeah, 50 Cent. Yeah,
Yep. We should. We should.
many moves. All right, boys. What are we talking about, Troy? Let's jump right into the elephant in the room. Your chart.
I just got a new chart, and
Yes,
like
sir.
my mom was only off by 20 minutes, but it
Pretty good.
changed my rising sign. Oh yeah, no, that's great.
No, but
Uh, but it basically being off by 20 minutes changed my rising sign, and then let me just go double check because I wrote it down earlier. So
Your
my
node.
Neptune moved from my 11th to my 12th house, and then my Mercury from my first to my second, and then my true node from my third to my second.
I think you said that backwards. Didn't it go the
yeah,
other way? Isn't Mercury in
yeah,
your first now? Isn't
yeah.
Neptune now in your 11th?
Yes, sir.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah,
Yes.
Mercury's now in my
Oh,
first house.
Well,
So, what does Mercury in my first house mean in that
talkie
sense?
talkie.
yeah. You are pretty talkative. I mean, it does make sense, Mercury being in your first.
What's the
And
first house?
Mercury in Pisces, you'd be talkative about spiritual things, right? Which also tracks with you, you know? Like that's definitely something that you focus on and that you talk about a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Neptune moving from the 12th to the 11th, it that's interesting because that can mean that you it's not like how you can have unrealistic expectations about groups and organizations that you're in, which can be problematic. That can be like in the workplace if you're trying to do like nonprofits. It can be like not as much corporate, but if you're like in a job that tries to sell itself more as like you're part of a family, that becomes more of an organization kind of job rather than a corporate job, which might be something that would attract you. But you'll find out that usually if you dig under the surface with Neptune in the 11th, that nothing's as good as it seems, you know?
Oh
Well,
yeah.
Fuck
that is
bitches
so
get
true.
money.
Yep.
I've totally learned that's in the nothing's as good as it seems in the business world, at least in the opportunities that I've been given.
Yeah. And also maybe idealize quote unquote your social
Yes.
groups, your peer groups.
Yep.
And that can lead to disappointment sometimes when we
For
idealize
sure.
anything. But also there's plenty of opportunity there for, you know, finding your people, I guess. I don't know. I mean, as long as you don't idealize people and expect things to go a certain way and you just roll with it.
Isn't your Neptune in Cap? Isn't that right? No Cap?
No cap.
Let me
Yes,
bring that
cap.
up.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
so that's like Neptune and Cap is kind of a difficult one in general because Capricorn is about like built real structure, you know, it's like about things you can see, touch, taste, and feel. And Neptune doesn't really give that much of a shit about any of that, you know. In
Because
fact,
it's more spiritual, right? In that
yeah,
sense, lofty
well,
goals.
but I mean, that's like the thing. You can idealize organization. You can idealize like, if I just get this particular pattern right, then
Yeah.
things will just work for me, right? So it's like sometimes you can get a little bit too dogmatic about what the religious path is going to be or what your spiritual path is going to be. If it doesn't
Yeah.
look like this, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? So that's like one of the problems with Neptune and Cap.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of good things about it, you know, which
Well,
Yeah.
Nick will tell you about.
well, no, just let me jump in because the whole Neptune and Capricorn generation, which I'm sure some of the people in ASO, some of the people watching this have, I have it as well. Is we idealize like we think that there's like an ideal structure of society and life and spiritual structure. We think like okay, like as long as everything falls into these things and does this thing and acts this way, and as long as society does this, then everything is good. But it's like that's an ideal that is just it doesn't take into account that people are people and then people are messy and you can't just force this like structure onto people and expect it to happen.
Well,
And you
think
can't.
about who led the kind of woke movement. That was definitely millennials. That was definitely the Neptune and
Yes,
Capricorn
yes,
generation.
yes,
Well,
So it was
exactly.
like,
it's certainly the demographic that made it reach critical mass and made it
yes,
boil over the top
Yeah,
for sure.
but it's and partly because there's an like the ideal is like, oh well, if everyone just believes these things and does these things and accepts society this way, then society will be good, because like I mean, in some ways, Capricorn rules like the structures of society, and like it's just not a feasible thing. It's an ideal that we can push for, and that's a fine thing to do because you can go like if we can just create a society that a structured society. It's like trying to force ideals into a very like real grounded like framework. Sure, that's great if you can pull it off, but like you can't force it. And like I think that's the big thing with like the woke movement is that like they tried to force it onto people and say, well, just believe these things and then everything will be okay. And you just have to go along with these things and you have to say these things and you have to think this way and all these things. And it's like that doesn't
but it
work.
wasn't
Like
okay. It, in
no, is
fact, was not okay at all. It was
what?
not okay.
No, what are you
And
talking
all the
about?
other generations were like, what the fuck are these guys doing? Could they
What?
please stop?
No,
But we had
no.
to do it your way for a little while, and then you fell on your ass, and we're all happy that that happened because now we
Well,
can move forward in a different
yeah.
direction.
And that's when Pluto was in Capricorn that all happened. So yeah,
Yep.
now we're not in that shit anymore. So it's falling off. So yeah, exactly though. Exactly, Mike. Yeah. But okay, so Troy, you also learned a big thing when we talk about astrology. Oh, wait. So one point I want to go back to is You said it was 20 minutes difference, correct?
So
From what you
I was
thought.
just looking up real quick. The other generations that were born with Neptune in Capricorn are
All right, Fishman.
1991 to 19 that, that's not right.
No, not 91.
That's not right. Sorry.
No.
Chat
80,
GPT
85, I think.
always right. Um
Just a minute. Let's see.
80, 85 to like 96, I think. 97. Or
I can
no,
look it up.
not 97. 2001, I think, or 2000, something like that. Look it up.
Neptune. All right. So it was in Capricorn, 1985 to 1997,
Oh, it
basically.
was 97. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it moved into Aquarius over the course of 1998, entered it fully in 1999, was in Aquarius until about 2010.
Hmm.
And then it hit Pisces 2011. And now it's hitting Aries. Now it's in Aries, which is
Yeah,
very exciting.
yeah.
But that
But
also means that you guys are getting a little bit fucked by it because Neptune and Aries is going to square
oh yeah.
all of the Neptune and Capricorn generation. So you're going to probably find out like all the things that many people will die harder on this hill, but you're going to find out that a lot of the things that you thought were good for society, your prescriptions don't
Yep.
really fit in the new structures that are being built. I think that
Yes.
that's like that's the change with Neptune and Aries. Neptune and Aries no longer cares that much about the system. In fact, there's a lot of aspects of
Yeah.
current thinking that is like, yeah, fuck it. I mean, we want like a container. We want to keep some parts of it, but
No,
it's
no, no.
so corrupt based on the Pluto and Capricorn you know, era where we saw how corrupt it was
Yeah.
that many people are like, fuck it, let's vote Trump and watch the fucking thing burn. You know, that was
Yeah.
like the motivation for a lot of
Oh
people when
yeah.
they voted.
Oh yeah.
Um,
And let me just jump in. And also, the idea of like, oh well, if everyone just does the thing for society and acts a certain way, then everything will be okay and everything will work out. But that dismisses and ignores that people want to just be an individual and they want to just do their own fucking thing, Aries style. Just like I'm gonna do my own thing over here, you do your own thing over there. Like I don't care about
accept me or
your
not, I don't give a
yeah,
fuck.
yeah. And that's the big square. It's where it's like the lesson is like, or one of the lessons is you have to accept that like people are not just going to go with it because you tell them to. Like that's a very like naive. It's an illusion that people have the Neptune idea of illusion of well if everyone just follows these rules of society then everything will be okay. It's like well no, but the Aries energy says no. Like I don't want to follow those rules. I'm going to do it my way, and that's going to be this like mind fuck for a lot of people where it's like and so the best way to handle that is just to accept that yeah people are going to do their own thing and to work with that and to just accept it and to move into that instead of holding on to well no if you just do it this way and you just accept and you play this play the game of like just pretend even if it's like almost like pretend land where it's like oh if you just if you say the thing enough times and it makes it true it's like no it doesn't
That's not
but
true though. It doesn't
yeah
make it true, and I
no
think that
Here's
that's like the
here's
bigger
another
shift that's kind of
interesting
happening.
thing. So
yeah
so it was eight last time Neptune was in Capricorn was in 1820 to 1834.
okay
So when you're looking at you know, what were the effects that happened of, like 20 and 30-year-olds when they got into power, in the 1940s and 50s, you know,
yeah
there was a
the
lot of
Civil War, the build up
that's
to the
one
Civil War.
that's one thing that thinks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
uh,
um, yeah, and then plus the Industrial Revolution was happening. There was a whole bunch of like a lot of a lot of technologies were being invented at that time.
oh yeah,
Anyway, um
yeah. Well,
Probably
let
some
me.
bullshit bank stuff too. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
oh
Let,
during that time, yeah. God, when was Jackson? Uh
I think you might have been
Jack.
during that time, actually. During that, I would have to look though. When was Andrew? Look it up online. When was Andrew Jackson president?
I
Hey,
look at
Chat
my notes.
GPT. Yeah. Ask Chat
Oh,
GPT,
how
your
about
best
that?
friend.
Um, 1832 is when he vetoed the charter. 1833 is when he removed federal funding for it, and then 1836 is when he officially the bank's charter expired, and yeah,
Yeah,
and then
he was like one of the most badass. He was kind of an asshole, but he was a badass
oh
president when it came to standing up to power.
well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
global power.
as far as economically in that dimension, he did an excellent job. But he was also Trail of Tears and other shit like that. So, um, yeah, just nobody's perfect in that kind of sense. But anyway, I guess that's kind of interesting there that Jackson was president. Actually, oh, what years?
What up,
Um,
Amber?
they say
Amber
hi at my
Amber.
lamps. Amber lamps.
Amber Lamps. Woo,
Oh
woo,
my
it's the
God.
Amber Lamps.
Woo woo!
Woo,
It's Amber
woo, woo.
lamps.
The
So,
Amber Lamps is here.
uh,
You're an ambulance. Ambulance. You're
Jackson
Amber
an,
lamps.
no.
was Jackson
We
was
got a
the
nice fake laugh for
Neptune
that, Mike.
in
Oh, good.
Capricorn president, like by definition, because here's the interesting thing is his first term was 1929, and then he got out of his second term in 1937. That's literally he was the president the entire time Neptune was in Capricorn. So
Ah, that's
I mean,
interesting.
if you look at all the things that happened in Jackson's administration,
Hmm.
abolishing of this of the central bank that was going on, the Trail of Tears, like I said earlier, he survived an assassination attempt. Um, eh, some
Is this
interesting
Huh.
Neptune and
parallels we're
Cap that
seeing.
we're talking about, or is this Neptune and Aries that we're talking about?
Am I
Cap.
saying that? Am I
No.
saying that?
Oh, no. Cap. Because Eric, he's talking about.
Aries is the Civil War. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah,
he's talking
because
about.
we're talking about that generation. Our section of basically the first section of the millennial generation is what it ends up coinciding with.
Yeah. But then no. But Troy, you're learning astrology so well because you're looking at history and going like, okay, these people. This is what was happening during this. So Neptune and Capricorn, as an example, this is what was happening in history during that time. So what does that mean? And then how does that move forward and build to something like you're getting it, dude. It's almost been a
Yeah.
year and it's clicking. You're learning how to really analyze astrology and look at like using history. No, I'm serious. Using history
Real.
to understand astrology and understand the cycles. That's like the biggest fucking thing that I like to push on people because that's the best way to. And I know Mike knows this. I'm preaching to the choir there, but good job, Troy. There you go.
So, Jackson also had two different vice presidents, and his second vice president went on later to become president.
Hmm.
And who was the second vice president?
Martin Van Buren.
Ah, good old Van Buren, my
I don't know
favorite.
shit about Van Buren, but he probably shit the bed a little bit, you know?
I
He's
don't
not
know.
one of the remembered ones, so that doesn't bode good for if we're thinking history
Hey,
rhymes.
middle of the pack. I mean, you could say worse, you
Yeah.
I
know?
mean, you just can't say anything. So is it good? I don't know. You know, it's like Van
Who?
Buren.
Who is that again? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like old money. So that's
Yeah.
different than because vans, you know, fucking
Oh
vans.
yeah. Oh, I
Usually
see.
old money.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's be like the mouthpiece for the internet. The architect of Democratic Party, apparently. Uh, he was
Oh.
president
Van
during the
Buren?
panic. Yeah, he helped form the Democratic Party, uniting various factions under Andrew Jackson's populist vision,
Yes.
pioneered modern political campaigning and grassroots party structure, uh,
Yep. Yep.
nicknamed the Little Magician. Um, I hope this is correct and I'm not just saying lies. Um, let's see.
But
He was during the
let me jump in though. Let me
Oh yeah,
just one sec. Um, Interesting that now correct me if I'm wrong, Troy. I looked this up on um you know how like we used to have like the Whig party and the other party and like
yeah,
whatever there was these other parties and then it
Anti-Mason
shifted.
party.
Yeah. There was all these like other parties, and then all of a sudden it became, Democrats and Republicans moving forward. Did that happen during the last like Neptune and Capricorn? Because it would in a way, it makes sense for like a dissolution of like the current status quo structure, and then moving forward with another one. I'm just curious, like when did like those, because it says you're saying that the modern Democrat Party started with him during that time.
Did the Republicans start during
Well, the thing is
Neptune
that
and
like
Aries, I wonder?
so as I'm
Ooh,
remembering it now
That's a good
is
question.
more or less we've always been a two-party system. And
Yes.
how it's kind of worked is there's always been a third and fourth party, but what it ends up happening is one party crashes and burns and another takes its place, is historically how it's happened. There's been a
okay.
few times that there's been three-way splits, but that's only been, or I should say, there's only been a few elections from my recollection that actually had any contenders with more than two parties. Uh
Yeah.
and
Prospero did the best in modern memory.
well, but everything we're talking about is pre-Civil War. So you might be right in that sense. Yeah, Chat GPT. I didn't know how to ask the question good enough, but
What year did the Republican Party start?
Yeah, that's what we're asking. Like, because
uh, with Lincoln, it's the party of Lincoln,
okay.
right?
Yes. But where was Neptune when that happened?
Yeah, what year? All right, someone
Oh, that's a good
chat.
point. 1854. So,
Yep, okay.
yeah, so not in that time frame.
That was Neptune and
That,
Aquarius. Okay. No, not Aquarius. Was it an Aquarius? No, they
I'd
were
have to look.
Pisces, right?
Might have been Pisces. Yeah, it's pretty close
Yeah,
to the Civil War.
yeah,
Like when did the
yeah,
Civil War start? What was the year that it started?
61.
1861.
Okay.
Yep, nailed it.
Bing.
Bing. See, I remember some stuff, but not much. But that's one of them. All right.
Neptune was in Pisces in 1954.
Yep. Okay.
You mean 1850, 1854, yeah.
Yeah,
1854. Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Libra
Interesting.
in 54 or 1950. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, all the parties changed, but what I'm curious about is it feels like since around that time the parties have been Democrat, Republican, and it's like almost like they need to, how you were saying how like they went from like the Whig party to whatever, and they went from this to that and this to that. It's like we're due for like a party death and
Yep.
rebirth, quote unquote. But it feels like just not happening. And I'm not, I don't know why necessarily. Maybe there's just like too much power and money involved and stuff, and it's like not letting go of that.
Yeah,
But
the Dems seem like they don't really have much of a they don't have much right now. And
yeah,
if they don't do well in midterms, they won't have really anything,
yeah,
Um, and I don't know how they're going to do if they pass any kind of legislation that makes it like so there's a paper trail for each vote, takes the voting machines out of the equation, or at least makes them so that you can, you know, check the work. I'm not
oh
so
no,
sure. I'm not
no,
so sure. I'm not so sure. That's all I'm saying.
no. Yeah,
I don't know if they got it, I don't think they do, because I've
no,
seen like some of the polling like puts Trump down like below 50%, but he's always been around there, around
yeah,
50%.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um, but almost all the polling for the Dems is abysmal,
yeah, yeah,
They can
yeah,
only get so many women, and now they're like spending billions of dollars right now to try to figure out how to speak to dudes again. It
But
it was like
oh,
and
that's
so,
just
I mean,
embarrassing.
that's not a sign of a good
But
party that's doing
it's
well.
They're-
it's the nature of when you've essentially built your entire identity off of essentially ego. Your identity in your ego, essentially that you're pushing against something. Because as soon as you stop pushing against something, Well, if it pulls away really quickly, you just fall on your fucking face. Um, and the thing is if you're trying to push against something and there's nothing to push against, you're literally just like it's like a baby looking for a pacifier. It's like you're trying to complete that dopamine cycle that you've been trained into, and that's like that's the that's the that's almost the like your neurocircuitry has been put to a point where like that's the main pathway because you haven't been doing anything else. And so
Yes.
you've been training your brain to just be the thing, which is very zen in a sense, but it's not very helpful to the full aspect of, humanity of who we're supposed to
Yeah.
be.
I just think that there's not much juice left in the let's hate Trump, harder this time, I don't think it's going to work that well, it's like not a good, there's plenty of people that hate him, you know, it's okay. I mean, but that just feeds him because he's a polarizer, which gets us into Gemini. Gemini polarizes people on purpose, the good ones do, you know, they do it because you get power either way.
Well,
Like
Yep.
because
whichever way people polarize, you're still the topic of conversation, right?
Yep. Yep.
Kanye polarized everybody, and a lot of people were real mad at him, right? But a lot of people were like, "Whoa, that's kind of cool. That bops, or whatever, Um, Polarization. He got
Yep. Yep.
everybody fucking talking about him, and that's what Trump
Yep.
does like all the time. That's all he
Oh yeah.
does.
Yep.
And the way to beat him is actually to ignore him, which is crazy. I mean, I'm giving you free game, fucking Dems, but you can't do it. So I know that you're not going to be
They
able to do
won't.
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
They
they're not listening to
won't.
this.
you can't fucking do it. Therefore, he's going to keep polarizing you, and then you'll look stupid because you'll make fucking mistakes.
But
Like
that's
that's
Yep.
what they've been
that's
doing.
totally into the fundamental nature of Gemini as even as a layman is that polarity is a fundamental aspect of what they are. And if they don't know how to control it, it's like the two wolves inside of them are running in different directions. But if you can get them, moving in the same direction, and you have your polarity essentially uh like like let me put it this way, it's like electromagnetism. When you get both of them together, well then you become radiant.
Bam. I like that you just dropped the mic. You're like, now you're radiant.
Yeah.
Got it. That's very cool, dude. Very cool. Very cool.
I'm trying to be a little bit more Aries and a little bit less Percy's my career retrograde.
Hey.
Percy's
Percy's my career.
Percy's Mercury, Pisces, Turkberly. Yes. So
That,
Gemini,
yes.
Gemini is really
I'm
good at
glad you found that
polarizing.
funny because
Polarizing. I'm not
it's
very
so much
polarized
easier to make
anymore.
fun of astrology shit once you know more about it.
Yes. I'm so proud. Dude. Okay, we're almost on our year fucking anniversary. Look at that,
Nice.
Troy. Yeah. What,
Well,
5
I mean,
days?
does get kind of jumped into the gang, and he has to
Yeah.
like hang out with astrology chicks all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
to be among the very hot astrology chicks. He's got to be there. I mean,
Yeah.
otherwise, what would even
Oh no.
happen?
I don't
I get
know.
it. I get it.
I mean, I just have to say, it was nice to crash out and just like when I look up from the rubble of my wrecked spaceship, and I'm like, oh, this
Oh.
thing isn't gonna fly, and I turn around and they're just like, hey, Troy, why are you looking so sad?
Death by snoo.
Uh,
Oh, he's looking sad because nobody's gobbled his knob for a little bit. It's sad. It's
Oh,
sad. It's
so
uh,
so sad.
sad.
I
So
don't know.
sad.
Well, you guys are the astrology experts. Can you guys like, do some horror-y and see when I'm gonna do some horror-y?
Oh,
Um, you don't need a whore. You want, well, maybe you do. You might need a couple to get you through the hard
what a
times.
Well,
The
what
hard
a
times
I
with
want not a
nothing but
real whore,
time on
but
your
like,
hands. What?
but I mean, someone who is as easy as this thing goes down.
easy like
But I
tequila and
would treasure
energy
her
drink.
just as much.
That's
Oh,
tequila and an energy drink?
oh yeah.
That's
It's a
like a
healthy energy drink, but yeah.
Red Bull and vodka. Very cool. I mean,
I
is that
mean,
healthy? That seems healthy too, right? What's so healthy about your energy drink? I want to hear why it's super healthy.
well, it just has a lot. It just it's
It's
mostly
organic.
just it's like caffeine and a whole
It's
bunch of
organic.
vitamins for the most part,
Uh,
Got it. Got it.
but
Cool.
yeah, but
and a little fruit
honestly,
juice.
it's kind of an Aries drink to have, which I kind
For
of
sure, it
respect.
makes sense. It's
So
it's on it's
yeah,
on brand. I get it.
yeah, exactly. So I'm not really hating on it.
I'm not
Yeah,
hating either. It just sounds
yeah,
like I'm hating because
Yeah.
this is my voice. This is the voice
yeah.
that God gave me.
Well, and the Aries group is coming along. So
Jesus
we're
Christ, I love it. You guys are
as
funny.
someone who knows how to make a fire,
Yeah,
it's uh making sure you get all your kindling chopped and all that kinds of stuff is very
no,
important. So we're uh
yeah,
we're preparing the fire right now, and I'm
build the
gathering
bonfire.
my Aries crew up, and yeah.
Who are you
Um
bringing on with you? Who did you bring in?
like I
Yeah,
got
yeah.
so far I got like what, Brandy, Heather, Curtis, Andrea, right? No, 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 sorry,
Oh
not
yeah.
Andrea.
No,
The
Tierney?
Andrew's
uh,
the lead.
the other cute one, Tierney. So
The other cute one. We're keeping that
Yeah,
in. We're keeping that in.
we are
oh,
You just said
I'm
that there's
editing it. It's
only
fine.
two cute girls basically in the
clip
whole
There's
it,
group.
oh
send it
yes,
to the
those are
send
the
it to the
only
backstage
those are the
chat.
only two ones I find cute. Like there's no other ones.
Clip it.
Like
Yep.
yeah,
She won't
it's all
mind.
right.
She won't mind.
I'm
You're
gonna mute
fine.
out all their names and blur
No,
out all their
no, you're
nipples.
not. No, you're not.
Oh wait, I'm gonna
No,
blur out
no,
my nipples.
no.
Sorry, that was I don't know what I'm saying.
My nipple, my nipple. You're my nipple.
My nipples don't mess around because then they know you so, and then they love for show.
Oh my God.
It's okay. Being cringe is being free.
I
You know
no
what I'm
no
saying?
no. I
Like
love
being
this.
able
This
to
is
step into it and
I
just
love it.
produce like that. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good.
This
Well,
is
see,
Um,
the thing
perfect.
is like you can go in and have pointless verbal arguments with people about things that don't matter. I
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
But I can also have pointless
Why not?
songs
Why not?
about things that don't matter. You know what?
Wait, are you saying that I was having a pointless argument about things that don't matter, like Palestine, Israel? Is that the thing that you're talking about?
Of
Which
Whoa.
which
course that's
one?
what I was talking about.
Yeah, that
Whoa.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Not to
No, no,
me.
Yes,
no.
yes. And
Not
on
Yeah.
to,
that
I'm
note,
not
I think
there.
we need to segue
No.
because we're
I'm
we're
not there.
somehow just running out of time on this segment, and
Holy
I just
shit.
really need to
Yes.
run to the bathroom right now. So,
No, you don't. No, you
um,
don't. You have a cup.
yeah,
We could.
we'll just have to come back in a couple of minutes. I'm sorry, everybody. That's too
Okay.
hot of a subject for us to talk about right now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Mike,
I'm
I
picking
mean,
up. I'm
like,
picking
it's
up.
just
Yep.
All right, go use
Choice.
the bathroom. We'll come back for the
Yeah.
next thing in a
All right.
second.
Sounds good. All right. Get
oh,
out of
what?
here. Get out of here, you
So Troy just got back from the bathroom, and
bathroom.
yeah,
Because Troy's
Be-
drinking his Aries elixir of energy drink and tequila.
he was
It's called
honestly.
my
I think
fire
he was worried
potion.
that I was
That's
going to
why
get
it's
us
red.
booted
Yes.
from YouTube. I think that that's what was going on. He's like, "We're
Yeah.
going to get demonetized," or something. I think that's what was going on. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
I mean, the key thing is that like I just like to edit, so I like to create reasons for me to edit because it
Oh,
makes
right,
me
right, right. By
feel
just
important.
talking
Because I have an
about.
anxious attachment style and I need to prove my
Oh,
love to you by doing more work than I need
no.
to.
Oh,
Oh.
well, I have a dismissive attachment style, which anxious attachment style people hate.
Yeah, I was gonna say you do have a just okay. Your self awareness there. Okay, god damn it, you do.
For
Fuck,
sure.
you fucking nailed it. I'm not
Well,
gonna comment. Anyways, yes, you do.
I would
You
say that
are. God
but
damn it.
you I would say that you're kind of similar to me in that you have a little bit of disorganized in the sense that like depending on the situation, like for me, I'm very avoidant until I have something I care about, then I run in and I want to people please, you know? But
Oh yeah.
but like to get me to care about stuff, like that's hard. But once I'm in the relationship or I start caring about something or I'm actually pursuing something, then
Yeah.
and I really care about it,
Then you
then
fixate.
then I just I fall into my other set of habits.
Got it. So you have
Ah.
like two tool bags, and you can go from either tool bag.
Yeah, but there are also different strategies that aren't the most effective. It like if you're in a secure environment with people you trust, it's not a good neither of those are good tool sets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because you don't need to be anxious, avoided, or the other one that I forget the name.
Well, the
Yeah.
key thing
Yeah, I
is
don't.
is
I've
that
never researched them because too many people were into them. I was like, these are just
well,
Myers
but
Briggs
but
for
that but
like
see, this is where
people
I
that are
got
bad at
you guys.
relationships.
You
You
get
know.
to go talk about all the stars and all that kind of stuff, and I get to help you guys talk about some of this stuff.
Oh,
So,
no, I don't
Oh,
want
that's
to.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
but
Oh,
but
oh,
it
Oh.
no, 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 no.
Um.
but
I
I
it's
don't
kind of
the
want to
like.
know.
So the way I was raised.
just
Um.
real okay.
We
I just
teach.
want to
No, just real quick. Me. No, I'm just kidding.
No, 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 both of you, real quick.
Hey, what's up,
Hi.
Nick? Hey,
Hi.
Nick. How
I
are you
just
doing?
hi, it's me. Hi. Yeah. Okay, anyways,
we're
go,
just
Mike.
we're just having our Aries planets
Yeah.
fucking chat a little bit. You know. It's like, no, I need
what
to talk. No, I
we're
need to
rubbing
talk,
our
right?
Aries
Like it's just
together.
I'm just reflecting maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Oh,
But
oh.
go ahead. Go ahead.
No. No, no, you. Go ahead. No, no, you. Go. No, you.
No, you should go
No.
first, Nick. You
Oh,
barely
oh,
talked at
no,
all
no.
last time.
Libras.
Oh, it's very
Oh,
sweet.
no,
Oh, it's
you.
very sweet.
All right, I'll go.
You troll
No,
too
you go.
hard.
Yeah.
You stomp on feelings. You need to be more
Oh,
compassionate of the plebs. Please be
the
more
Who are the
plebs.
compassionate of the
plebs?
plebs.
Who are the
Pleb.
plebeians?
Yeah,
The
plebes.
ones who
Is
you're
it plebes or
stepping on.
plebs?
The
Oh,
plebs can plea bargain as far as I care. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
I
That's
don't.
what I'm saying.
I'm not.
At the
I'm a
plea
pleb. What are you
market,
fucking talking about? Isn't that just like the fucking not lords,
Yeah.
not the elite? I'm totally
Oh,
a pleb.
oh, speak for yourself. I'm in the Illuminati. I
Oh
just got
shit,
my membership card right.
that's pretty cool. I
It's right
mean,
here. Yeah.
oh, you found the lodge out there. I'm glad that you
Yeah,
found the
yeah,
lodge out there.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool. Very cool.
yeah. I'm a full
It's
blown.
the blues. Are you with the blues or the Scottish?
Yes. What the
Yes.
Scottish Rite? Is that the Scottish Rite? I'm aware. Yeah,
Oh,
that totally. Yeah, that. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I
Of
know.
course.
I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah,
It's so
yeah.
weird that they're called free though, because they kind of don't feel as free as I don't
No.
know, it's like maybe they should be the enslaved Masons instead,
Ooh,
I don't know.
well,
and
well,
cut.
I have to say is did you ever go up to a set of like, brickwork and you're sitting here and you're basically being like, "Oh my God, this mason work is really free." No, you want
Ooh,
it to be bound there, right? Because otherwise it's not
yeah,
good mason work.
yeah. Or it just crumbles. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's an oxymoron, a Freemason.
a
Yeah.
free
Well,
Mason.
people who do oxy are morons.
Stable
But
people who
don't
do oxy are morons. This is true.
Yes.
don't
Yeah.
do drugs.
Because
They're
fentanyl
bad.
is so much cheaper, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just so much cheaper. It's so much harder to get oxy nowadays, is what I've
Yeah.
heard. I'm not
Yeah.
looking
What?
for it. I'm just
No,
telling you
no.
all.
Yeah.
I don't like that
I've
shit.
I've
Uh,
heard that.
but I'm pretty sure it's really cheap because they send it over in precursors from China and then flood it into our country as payback for the opium wars because the Asians have a long memory. That's what I've heard.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's what
Ooh.
I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Do
Whoa.
they have
Hey.
elephants in China?
What?
Are there elephants
Maybe.
in China?
There,
Are are there what in China?
elephants at the zoo, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, there's totally elephants in China,
Oh,
like
is
near
there?
the border with India, I think.
Yeah, yeah. In India, there's elephants, so maybe. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Apparently
anyways,
there's about 300 Asian elephants in China.
Nice.
300. Only 300.
That's
Okay.
what the Chipidi says.
Chipadi. That's what my best friend says. My best
What's the
friend.
real what's the real elephant in the room though?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that all of us are touching a different part of the elephant. For example, some people are touching the
Whoa.
trunk, some people are touching the tail, the side.
I don't
Whoa.
Some
know.
people are,
Whoa.
I don't think
Whoa.
this
you
is the
know,
trunk. This is
Whoa. What are some people doing?
I
Hey.
don't know. I'm just saying.
Whoa.
What is the
Hey.
elephant in the room? I
well,
don't know.
Yeah,
it's
I
like one of
don't
those
know.
car competitions where everybody has to keep their hand on the longest, and the person who has their hand on the last gets to keep it.
Whoa.
You
Oh
who
yeah,
gets
that
Oh
to
killed a
keep
yeah.
the
couple people
who
back in the
gets to
day. That's
keep
why they
the
stopped doing
elephant
it.
in the room?
That did.
You got to keep the elephant. Actually, it would be terrible having an elephant where I live.
Well,
I don't
isn't
want
that
Yeah.
one,
what
you
energy
know?
vamps do? They create an elephant in the room, and then everybody abandons it, and then they got to keep the energy, like a pot from like
Yeah.
they're playing like involuntary bingo. Sorry, not
Poker. Yeah, that feels like more like poker to me.
but they say
Um,
bingo at the end because they're
Bingo.
creepy, and when they
That's my elephant's name
they're
is
like
Bingo.
bingo.
energy vampires. That's a fun little topic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
How
mean, as
how
I'm
do you
drinking an
vamp
energy drink.
energy?
Well, the
Ooh.
key thing is it's very simple for me. Is that like we live in an
Oh, okay.
like be, our grids aren't working properly on the planet, so we have to do
Oh,
much more energy exchange than we would naturally. And so usually
well,
we're going to be able to have a polarity of energy running through our grid that allows us to mostly sustain ourselves from just like
yeah.
spiritual energy. And then as we're
Yeah.
interacting with other people, we're actually like it's the same way that you're having energy fields interact with each other as you're having like because you have auric fields or you're having our EN fields. And as they interact in a harmonious way, you're literally going to create more energy that was there than beforehand. The waves at different auric fields. Yes. Yes. That's chat GPT for you or finger GPT. Um,
I like finger GPT. That's
and then if you're having good interactions with people that you're going to be amplifying each other's things and it's the same thing as that like it's when you're doing synergy in that basic sense
yeah.
that it's the 1 + 1 + 1 = 4, and
You know,
it's if you can turn in that when you're balancing everything else out, it's you're getting compound interest on those relationships too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And here's the church. Here's the
here's the
steeple.
steeple.
Oh,
Open the
how do
door.
you do that? Open the
And here's
door
all
and
that. I don't
stare.
remember. I was trying to think of that
Fuck yeah.
actually a
save
second
save the
ago.
rest for smut chat.
Fuck.
I did synergy once at a rave, and it was a pretty good time. I've got to say, I
Ooh.
took 2 tabs of synergy, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
you're not
I
talking
was
about the
dancing
kombucha
like
brand.
all night. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh,
And
that's some
my
synergy.
auric
Yeah.
field was like, it was glowing,
Ooh.
you know. And
Oh,
other
yeah.
people's auric fields were glowing too. But I did notice vampires around too. Anywhere there's a lot of energy, you'll attract some
Yeah.
vampires. It's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But
true.
everybody has a little bit of vampiricness in themselves, right? Because there's times that we pull energy from other people.
No, not
Um,
me. I'm
Well,
you
I'm
we
never
perfect.
do?
I don't.
Oh, you're
well,
perfect?
No,
Cool. Yeah.
I just give energy. I don't. Yeah, I'm perfect.
Never
Yeah.
take any.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
well,
Cool.
we
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
exchange
totally
energy
agree.
all
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
time,
I'll agree
Yeah.
with your projection.
Never.
That's fine.
Never.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
but it's the same thing as like if you're stingy, and it's the same thing like if you have a bunch of friends and everybody else buys drinks for everybody, and you're not matching the social expectation of the group you're in, well,
Ah.
you're going to be rubbing people wrong in that sense if you're not doing that. And if you just use that as a simple analogy for energy in a
Ooh.
situation where, oh, I'm going through something hard. Oh, and people are holding that space. They're supporting you. They're helping you co-regulate your emotions and such like that. And then other people
Yes.
aren't. It's noticed even not on a psychological level, but further back in the brain and also in other areas that just like we somatically
Whoa.
shit.
Other areas.
I mean,
I try
once
to
in a
feed
while.
them so much energy that they choke on it, and it usually works, you know. It depends on how
Ooh.
much you can put it in, you know. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you can actually make
That
you can give
does.
them like a bellyache.
Well,
It's
you,
pretty
you're
fun.
you're
Yes.
you're like the dad who's like, "Oh, I caught you smoking. You're gonna smoke
You got to smoke a whole
three
carton.
packs
Yeah, fuck
bef-
yeah, that's the way to
like
go.
Yeah.
before you go to bed tonight."
I okay. Yes. Yes, Daddy. What? Oh. Give me that carton. I'll smoke the whole thing. God damn it. Let's go. See ya. Yeah.
I
They
mean,
didn't
Give
know
me
whatever
that you've
works
that.
been
for
smoking
you.
since you were 8, you know, and you're like
Yeah.
fucking up to a pack a day already. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, that's fine,
Yeah.
Dad, I got it.
It's like,
Well, it's funny because
oh,
I was listening to that like there's apparently been like several singers who specifically like were heavy smokers because they thought that the amount of smoking that they were doing was making unique aspects to their voice and the timbre. Um,
yeah.
and I'm just like,
Probably
gotta
true
Eh,
learn
for
how to
some
say
people.
better.
yeah.
Like the
It
right
does.
kind of blues singer, like
Yeah.
sound in that way would actually help their vibe, I think,
Yeah.
a little bit.
I'm saying that there's certain unique aspects that certain of those traits can play into, but I'm just like, no. No, I it's or just let me put it this way. As a personal thing, like no, I've learned to sing lots of different styles and rasps and such like that. You just need to
Yeah.
learn how to do it. And I think that a
Oh.
lot of well, it's a lot of those things that it's just like the drugs aren't doing the thing. You're doing the thing. It's like stop blaming the alcohol. You did it. But it's also this,
Um,
it's like you could get some people can get to those places without those things. And if you can on a regular basis, the stuff that's going to come through is a lot more clear than if you're having to take substances to get those creative muses.
yeah. Yeah.
True.
Like, yeah. Unless you're T-Pain, and they just get
Well, I mean,
the
Dude, I am
auto
T-Pain.
tune.
I'm
like,
T-Roy who's had lots of pain. I am T-Pain.
T-Roy,
Yeah.
dude, just
I mean, wouldn't it be fun if you could like measure the amount of suffering that you've gone through versus another person when you met them in the first time? You know, you'd be like,
whoa.
so if somebody tries to have a dick off with you about how much they've
Yeah.
suffered, you can be like, no, I've actually got 17,000 suffering points and you only have 12,000. I'm afraid that my suffering is more than yours. So, I'm afraid that I've suffered a lot. Check is going to bounce in this particular case. You know, you can do
Yeah.
things like that. Maybe you get to do
Yeah.
that in the fifth dimension. Maybe that's what comes next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know we
That's what.
talk shit in the fifth dimension. I think you talk more
I
shit
mean,
in the fifth dimension
well,
than the third.
let me put it
Ooh.
this way.
We're practicing.
I think realistically that like when you get out, there is that a kind of scoreboard where you go look at your stats and you're like, ooh, well, at least I was pretty good here. But I'm like, ooh, look at my hit accuracy. Ooh.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, or you go like, I mean, well,
Yeah, look at
okay.
your stats. Like, how many times did your girl come and how many times did you come? And like,
Ooh.
check that
Oh
one out.
no. Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
Oh.
right. Oh my God.
Oh. I'm a bad boy.
Concito
He's a bad, bad man.
I'm a bad boy. Oh yeah.
Um, so what are we talking about? The elephant in the room, right? What's the elephant in the room?
I mean, I guess
Right
it's just
now?
like in the generic sense, it's like drama. And in the sense of like
Drum drum.
Detroit, like it's been an interesting success so far because for people who don't know, trying to create people wanted a fight chat, but also I wanted to make a mediation chat. I'm a peacekeeper, but I'm also a warrior. I suck at like normal fucking fights, like verbal fights. But when it comes down to like
Yeah.
I when I need to find the words when shit actually matters and calling people out and using language that cuts to the heart of the matter without unnecessarily escalating the situation.
Oh yeah.
And I say that last one with an asterisk because totally did something in the last couple days that unnecessarily escalated a certain situation.
Did you escalate something?
I did. I've been an
Oh,
Whoa.
Aries.
Aries escalated some conflict. Is
What?
that what you're saying?
You're
I've actually
bad.
escalated several things recently. Um,
Uh-oh.
yeah. I don't
Uh-oh.
regret them, but I will admit too that like yes, I did escalate them because I was like, I felt in a certain, you know, that's where my fire was meant to burn. You know, I'm very careful where I put my fire, but certain places I'm like, oh, I need to go burn that right now. I don't burn
I
many
mean, it is
bridges.
fun to burn things. I mean, I've always enjoyed burning things. I escalate just for fun sometimes. I mean, there doesn't always have to be a purpose in escalation. I mean, right? Sometimes escalation is just like,
Right?
let's see where this can go. Let's see what level this can get to. And it kind of depends, you know. I don't do it very often, but like in Detroit, it's kind of fun to escalate a little bit or to get people to like actually take positions on actual important shit, you know? I mean, what have we escalated so far in there? We've escalated COVID. We've talked about COVID in there. We've talked about Israel Palestine in there.
Well, no,
Um,
I mean, those are some of the subjects you brought up, but there's been a lot of miscellaneous drama that's been brought in there, and it's just nice because we haven't had any official things in there, but the environment has because really like what I wanted from the environment is that people would be able to fight about stuff and address things and not be able to use like distraction tactics so that they can actually argue about what they need to argue about, and then other people can call them out on their behavior and their patterns at the same time. So essentially, it's a violent intervention.
Yeah. No, I think Detroit is good. It's probably like the most likely chat to stick around, and it's because like didn't you start it exactly at the Mars Pluto opposition?
I'd have to
I
go
think that
check.
that's what we timed it at.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
yeah, something like that.
yeah, I think it was the Mars Pluto opposition. So I think it's like set up for that conflict. You know, it's set up to be a place of conflict. But I think that there were other things that were like supporting it at the time. I forget exactly the chart because it was in Eugene. I think we snapshotted it. I don't even know if it's saved in that group.
It
So I
should
think yeah,
it should be
it could
somewhere.
be really good. I think it has been really good so far. I'm glad that you created it. I'm glad that you spent the time writing about it, even though very few people read the whole thing. That's what you got to learn is in the group, nobody reads the shit. You got to figure out how to get it onto one graphic in a very short way, like Sabina has figured
Well,
out,
I mean,
and that's how you can get it to happen.
I can do that as well, but at the same time is it was setting the energy dynamic, and the thing is that like I realized in order for people to have more freedom to act closer to reality, we actually needed more rules. So, and so in order, so basically, if I'm going to draw a line in the sand that's, the circle's bigger, I need more paint. And so that was kind of what I was realizing. But it's basically to free people up to, for the most part, to like uh act how they want to act. And for the most part, if they're not being malicious, there's no penalties. But if it's pretty clear that you're being acting malicious in certain ways, and you're going to be outed. And because the thing is, I keep telling everybody that it's not about individual fairness, it's about or health, it's about health of the community. So that means it's going to be a little bit of mob rule in there. And
Yay! I mean, it's Warlords. That's pretty fun.
yeah,
I
not
mean,
and
you
none
guys
of
got
us
to be a
are
little
into
bit
it.
more warlordy, I think, and train people to expect like random consequences for dick behavior every once in a while, just for fun.
They're learning.
You
They're
got to
learning.
flex.
Oh, the first few weeks, I had several people being like, "I don't think these rules are fair," and I'm like, "They're not intended to be fair. That's the entire point. It's not fair. There's no illusion of fairness. Like if we have an official thing and someone is actually trying to plead, they will get to choose some efforts that they think, or it's basically what we call judges in this group, that they get to
Yeah,
help
what
choose
is
a couple of them um because they think that someone will hear their case better. But the key thing is like they're not on anybody's side, they're on the side of truth. And I don't know if we'll have one anytime soon, but so far just the energy dynamic of setting the rules for the official things have seemed to set the tone for the rest of the environment though, or the rest of the group and the culture in there.
That's true. This is a lot of inside baseball, though. Let's move on to some outside baseball.
I still thought it was an interesting thing.
I'm not saying it's not an interesting thing. I think that Detroit is great. That's what we're
I'm
all
very
saying.
interesting. My
Everybody's
Leo moon is
saying
very
that
interesting, and so
Troy
is
is
my
very
Aquarius rising.
interesting, and
I
Detroit
bring
is
the water.
also very interesting.
I
Everybody's
bring
saying
the
it.
water.
I
I
find
bring the
it
water.
so boring. Um, I don't know what you guys are talking. Oh
All
no,
right.
it's.
I'm gonna
I'm
just stop
kidding.
recording
I'm
right now.
kidding.
You just hurt his
Yeah,
feelings.
yeah. Oh,
Rude,
try.
rude.
How rude. I can't kid. I
Don't
kid.
remind the
I
Leo
kid.
moon that he has a Pisces Mercury retrograde because I will cry forever.
Oh.
No,
We'll feel bad for like 2 minutes tops. That's like the length of time that we will feel bad for somebody crying
that's
forever.
usually how long I feel good. But
Hey.
Is it 2 minutes
Hey.
left in the thing? Is it time to?
No, no.
Okay,
But
just checking.
no, good, good. It just cracks me up. Yeah, two
I should
minutes.
stop
Hey,
making dick jokes. Sorry. I was
that's
trying to slip one in there real quick, and just
that's
like
what
let
she
it
said.
slide
Or
and
he said 10
you know.
minutes. Yeah.
Now it's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But
You don't slip
yeah.
one in there. You gotta slip it in there real good. I'm gonna slip one into
Do,
Detroit and
do, slip it in the back door.
That's anal sex. I've heard it's fun. You know, people talk
I've
about it a
heard.
lot. You
Yeah.
know,
I've heard.
Uh,
I've heard.
I,
Yeah.
I I've heard.
I mean,
yeah.
I would never do something so
Sure.
filthy.
Oh,
You and the
oh,
millennials and your eating
oh,
ass. Ugh,
oh.
gross.
Yes,
Gross,
guilty.
guys. Don't you know that
Yeah.
Poop comes from the ass?
Yeah.
Does
I
Don't
it
don't know about the
though?
you?
rest of you, but I sit on
Does
couches.
it though?
Yeah,
So
it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not really from the ass. It like goes through
Yeah,
your whole system, right? It
yeah,
slowly breaks down in your
yeah.
intestines, and then
Oh,
it
okay.
it pulls out all the liquid from it until it's ready. And the
Oh,
reason that poops are like really hard sometimes is because it's pulled out all
sometimes.
the it's pulled out too much stuff, and it's like it's gotten too dry, and you
Yeah,
waited too long, and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what
Well,
happens.
what if it's the opposite? What if it's
Oh,
too wet?
it didn't have enough time. Like
Ah,
it couldn't
yeah.
like solidify it. Yeah, that's
Got
true.
it.
so
Yeah, or you
so
have
Um,
like
so
a
Troy
where
looks really
back.
uncomfortable, so let's keep
Yeah,
so
going with this for
where
a second. Let's just
hey,
keep
no, this
going.
is
He
a
looks really
serious
uncomfortable.
astrological
yeah.
question. People have talked about that there's dick on your chart. So where's butthole on your chart? Where is your
Oh, that's
sphincter?
a good question.
Like what
That is not a
regulates your
Anus.
serious
butthole?
astrological question.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
Troy,
gonna go ask
we're having a serious
ChatGPT.
conversation, Troy. Come
No,
on.
no, this is serious. What?
We already have Uranus. We
Yes.
have Dick and Uranus. What's not to figure out there? Maybe Dick
Yeah,
is in Uranus. Maybe it's
yeah,
conjunct Uranus.
yeah.
I don't know
Or
where Dick is for you,
opposite.
but it could be opposite.
Yeah,
Maybe Dick and Uranus never the twain shall meet, it's never going to
yeah,
happen. Or maybe Uranus is, transiting your dick right now. Who knows?
yeah.
We don't
Look
know.
it up. Look it up, people. Look up your chart. You don't
Yeah,
The
know.
anus, the anus, rectum, and sphincters are traditionally ruled by Scorpio in the eighth house. Why?
Oh,
Scorpio
oh boy.
governs the elimination and transformation process, both
of waste. Yeah.
physical, like bowel movements, and psychological, like purging
Yeah,
emotional baggage.
yeah. So those of us with Scorpio placements, I don't know anyone here who
I
has
do
those.
sometimes poop. Yes, it's
Well,
true.
Oh,
and the eighth
okay. Yeah,
house,
I do
and then
purge emotions sometimes. Yeah, too. I do that too. It's cool. It's very
oh, and
fun.
then
Sometimes
Mars
it's not very comfortable to
traditionally.
be around.
It says
Oh, shit.
Mars is
Shit.
traditionally represented with muscle control and force, all of which are part of sphincter action.
Whoa.
Sphincter action.
Sphincter.
I like the sound of that.
I mean, doesn't
I like an
sphincter action
active one, you
also
know
Yeah.
what
just
I'm
sound like
saying?
a
Yeah.
Like,
kid's cartoon
I don't like the
Woo.
passive ones.
Sphincter
No.
action.
No. Active.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
want
I've
that
got.
gorilla grip, you know? That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, we can
Grippy
talk about
socks,
all that,
grippy
but we can't
box.
talk about. No, it's cool.
Israel. So, anyways,
We
Israel,
could
sphincter
we could
action.
talk about lots of things. I mean,
Israel is the sphincter, and Hamas is the butt plug. And we have boop, boop. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it YouTube friendly. So just
yeah,
work with me here.
I'm pretty sure that analogy track.
It works.
I
Just
don't
go
know.
with it.
A butt
it
plug? Okay,
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't fucking know.
What
I
is the
don't know.
elephant in the room, Nick? What's the elephant in the room?
Sphincters.
Sphincters and butt
Yes.
plugs.
And butt plugs.
It's like the
So,
sphincter. It's
yeah.
like the sphincter shouldn't control the head, should it? Like,
No, no.
no. It seems weird when it does. Is that
Yeah.
somebody? Yeah, it's weird.
Well,
It's
and
my sense.
like a butt plug, like you put it in and the sphincter closes around that little small part. And
Yeah.
then well, what is the point of that? Like what is a butt plug anyways? And you know how they have like butt plugs with like tails on them? Is that something?
Yes.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's a
they
thing.
glow. Sometimes there's like little light up
Yes.
butt plugs.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
getting kind of degenerate around here.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
just
think that there was times in the
before
history where
no
this happened before, and bad things eventually came from it, didn't they?
Ah,
Didn't they?
yes.
It's like
Yes.
degeneracy creates a reaction to it.
What
Isn't that weird?
are you?
I'm not
talking
saying
about.
that anything anybody out there is doing is wrong unless you're
Good.
well, no, I'm saying that a lot of things you're doing are wrong. And if you
Yeah,
continue
that's
to do
true.
them, you will create a reactionary wave that will
Uh-oh.
make your life a lot worse. That's like what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I'm gonna make a wave with my
You got to be careful when you speak karma
sphincter.
at me.
Hey,
When I throw
you.
what?
Karma's a bitch.
It is. Shit
Is
comes
she?
around. What go around, come around, kid.
Oh,
What go around, come
goes
around.
around, comes around. Da,
So how do
da,
you feel
da,
about
da, back
Scorpio ruling
around.
the genitals?
Kind of.
How do
I
I
mean, so
how do I
it
feel
does.
about it?
I mean, I feel about it
Think
every
Yeah,
about it.
day, you know? I
You
mean,
don't
I'm
have
use
to
like
feeling
feel.
language.
I'm
Yeah,
not trying.
feeling
I'm not
about
trying to
it
like
all the
I
make you
time.
uncomfortable. I was
feel
just like, what's your thoughts
confused.
on it?
Oh, okay. Go.
Feel it
You
out,
go.
baby.
No, you.
Feel
Well, what is
Scorpio.
so Scorpio is about like kind of the mysteries a little bit, right? And
Ooh,
conception, like for a long time, was like a huge mystery. How does putting this into this create life? You know, we didn't quite get it for a while.
yeah.
Um, Men didn't even really know that, supposedly, and I'm not totally sure this is true, but men didn't even really know their role for quite some time. And that's
What?
when we
Yeah, we
had more
did.
matriarchal society, which is kind of
What?
interesting because
Hey,
we didn't get it. And then I think
we knew.
well,
We knew that we just
probably,
had to dominate and we were the best and that
yeah.
uh
Well, I mean, we are, we think we're winning when we're really losing often, though. I think that that's one thing about men
yeah,
is they think
but
they've got the upper hand when they're actually
Different
getting
metrics.
totally outworked
Let's just
at the margins.
Well, yeah, when you are judging yourself off one thing and they're judging yourself off another thing, it's really easy for them to win and you to win at the same time and have a false win-win. You know
whoa,
what I'm saying?
whoa.
I love a false win-win. It's
I
better
love
than a lose-lose,
I
yeah.
love
Or
that
is it
one.
the
A,
same?
a
I want to
real
use that one
lose-lose
again.
versus a false win-win. Yeah.
I've never thought about that before, but that's actually really true when it's just like when I only care about this and you only care about
I
that,
want
then
my
I'm
lighter,
actually
Oh,
making
and I want
a
you to wrap it up.
woo,
It's like 10 fucking o'clock.
ooh,
I think it's
woo.
done. Is it time, pretty much?
we have 2 minutes left,
All
so
right.
I guess that's it. Um,
It's
yeah.
I
just
guess
when we
so.
were getting into the sparkling misogyny,
Yeah.
and suddenly a
Uh-oh.
woman comes in and ruins it.
Oh my God.
All right.
Dropping the
I'm just kidding, man.
bombs.
I'm absolutely kidding. Amber, I was on your side earlier, and I know
Cut,
that you're gonna
cut.
watch this and you're gonna be like, I didn't like that. And you should not like that. It's true. It's fair that you don't like that.
Uh,
But I had
uh,
fun saying it. So let's really think about like the bigger picture here, which is I had fun saying it. So
perfect.
um, yeah. And that's enough for me. I mean, because I'm a simple creature. I'm a man, right? Simple
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, exactly. We're just
I'm a
dumb
man.
men.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, perfect.
Masculinity.
It's
It's a
been
good
very pleasurable hanging out with you guys, talking about our
Yeah,
feelings and Detroit and Troy and Andrew
and
Jackson and Israel and all sorts of things.
Neptune.
It's been a good time. Good night, bros.
good night,
Thanks for
bro.
solving all of the world's problems with me. Thank you for
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
solving all of my problems for me. And I'm glad we could solve all of your problems for you. Until next time.
America.
Peace.
Pink.
Peace.
Have a good one, man.
Peace.